Welcome to Lovin' Life's Journey DIY. I'm Chantel. Thank you so much for being here. So I have been thinking about Christmas gifts lately. I know it's only September, but honestly, Christmas is going to be here before we know it, and I like to start on my gifts early. So today I have some DIYs for you that are for personalized gifts. These could be used for any occasion, not just Christmas, and they are easy and budget friendly. So let's jump in and get started.
For this first project, I'm going to be using this canvas pouch or little shoulder bag that I picked up at Hobby Lobby for $1.49. That's a great price, and that's the regular price. It has a little zipper and a shoulder strap, and this is for my 6-year-old niece, Eily, who loves purses and bags. I am also going to be using this transfer paper for dark fabric from Hiipoo, and I'd like to say a big thank you to them for sponsoring this video and sending me this heat transfer paper to try. This package comes with 10 sheets of transfer paper, 2 sheets of grease-proof paper, which is like a parchment paper, and also 1 adhesive sheet that is like a transfer tape to use for transferring designs. I will put the link to this product in the description box below if you're interested. It's very affordable and can be used for a lot of different projects, and I'm going to be showing you several of those today. What I love about it is you don't have to print a mirror image. You can just print any design on an inkjet printer to use to transfer with this. You can even transfer hand-drawn designs using this paper with certain art mediums, and although it says for dark fabrics, it works great on light fabrics as well. It's easy to use and the possibilities are endless, so let me show you what I made with mine. Since I'm wanting to make personalized designs, I'm going to be creating my own, but you can just find any design to print off if you don't want to create your own. I'm using Canva.com. There is a free version. I do have the pro version. I use that and I like it a lot, but you can design these with using just the free version as well. And so I'll link to that in the description box too. So I am looking for a hippo because Eily loves hippos, which is kind of funny because this video is sponsored by Hiipoo, but I didn't really plan that. I just know that Eily likes hippos. So I have chosen a design and I'm adding her name on this. And since I'm putting this on a black bag, I changed the background to black so that I could see what it looks like. But once I've chosen what colors I want to use, I'm going to delete that black background. Otherwise it will print with a black background and I don't want that. So depending on how your printer works, make sure you put your heat transfer paper into the printer so that it's going to print on the all white side. And depending on the size of your project, you could put 2 designs on one sheet so that you get the most out of the heat transfer paper and don't waste it. I'm choosing a glossy inkjet photo paper. I'm going to select color and the best quality and print this out. And something to note is when your design prints out on this paper, it isn't quite as vibrant as you might think it should be, but don't worry because when you iron this on your project, those colors are going to come out and they're just going to pop. So don't worry if it doesn't look as bright and colorful as you were hoping for. So I'm just cutting around my design and this white is going to show on this, so I'm trying to cut a pretty neat border around it. I'm going to use my Cricut Easy Press for this. This is the first time I have used my Easy Press, so I haven't learned all the tips and tricks for this, so if you know some good tips and tricks for using this, leave them in the comments below. So I'm getting an idea of where I want to place my design, and then I am going to peel off the backing. You want to do this carefully because that front design, that transfer paper is very thin, but then I'm going to place it on my project and then I will cover it with that grease-free paper, or you can use parchment paper, and then I'm going to use my Easy Press, or you could use an iron to iron this down. With my Easy Press, I am doing 30 seconds at 340 degrees. And I did do it in a couple of sections, mostly because there's a zipper on this bag and it doesn't lay real flat, so I had to work a little bit at it to make sure this was all stuck down well. And then I'm going to let this cool completely, and I think this turned out really cute. I like the white border. I think it makes the design and the letters pop, and my niece has Down syndrome, so anything that makes it easier for her to see and read those letters is great, and that's why I decided to go with the white background. You could print this with a black background if you'd like, but I really wanted those letters to pop. This next personalized design, I decided I wanted to try and print and then cut it on my Cricut so that I didn't have a background behind it. And so I created my design and then I uploaded it into Cricut Design Space as a print and cut file. If you create your own design to cut out on your Cricut or Silhouette, make sure that you save it with a transparent background so that it will cut out around your design and not cut with a background. So I am sizing my design to the appropriate size for my project. I'm going to be putting this on the front of a little onesie, and so it needs to be fairly small. And then I'm going to follow the steps to print this on my printer and then cut it on my Cricut. So when I send this to my printer to print, I do want to add bleed. That will make it thicker so that it cuts out and doesn't leave a white border. And I'm going to use System Dialog so that this box will pop up and I can choose my printer settings. So I can choose what kind of paper and the quality and color of my print. After my design is printed, I'm going to put it on my cutting mat, and then I am going to select in Cricut Design Space for the material. I'm going to search transfer, and a heat transfer paper will come up. I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to continue and cut out my design. So I did find using the Cricut with this paper would work better if you had a larger, simpler design, something that is more intricate or has small letters. It didn't do great with, and I had a brand new blade in my Cricut, so I know it wasn't my blade, and I tried several different things with always the same result. So I think the design was just too small. You can see here on the yellow lettering, it didn't cut real well. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're wanting to cut out a design on a cutting machine. Then I'm going to weed this and pull away all of the parts that I don't need, just leaving my design. And this is where I had a little trouble with that yellow lettering, and I actually lost my E from there, and so I had to make another one and kind of piece it in, but I made it work. So now I'm using the adhesive sheet or the transfer tape to transfer the design, and so I'm covering the design, and I'm doing this in two sections. I just thought it might be a little bit easier to work with that way, and so that's what I'm doing here. So by now you are probably all wondering what I love you Modi means. Well, when our girls were little, we would always say I love you, and I know I love you more, and we go back and forth, and one day Sarah, our oldest, said I love you Modi, and that's the most anyone could ever love anyone, and the saying just stuck, and so it has a special meaning in our house, and the girls would always race to be the first one to say I love you Modi. And before Chris would leave in the morning, they came up with this little game where they would count to 3, and then the first one to say, I love you, Modi, won. And that was just a lot of fun.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Love you, Modi!
Love me!
1, 2, 3. Love you, Modi!
So here's my cute little baby onesie for my first grandson. I'm going to heat it up a little bit and press it with the Easy Press, and then I am going to place my design on the onesie. And this is nice because it is repositionable. If you don't get it in the right place the first time, you can move it around. Then I'll place that protective paper over the top, and again I'm going to press this at 340 degrees for 30 seconds. And then once my design has cooled down, then I'm going to peel off the transfer tape. And I'm just wondering, because this is my first time using my Easy Press, you can see how that transfer tape is wrinkled on the bottom section there. Is that because I did it too long? Let me know in the comments, because I haven't mastered this yet. But I think this turned out so cute, and I know my daughter is going to love it because it has special meaning to our family. And I especially like giving personalized gifts, or gifts that have special meaning and that have thought that goes into it. It just feels like a more special gift. For this next project, I picked up this 16 by 16 inch pillow cover from Hobby Lobby. The regular price was $3.99, and I think that's a great price, but I'm sure if you watch you could get it on sale as well. I'm just putting my Easy Press mat inside the pillow to make it easier to put my design on it. And then I used the same process that I did for the last project, and did a print and cut on my Cricut to create this design. And so I guess this is a personalized gift for us, because this is for our family room, and him and his home established 1991. That's when Chris and I were married. So I'm going to just weed out this design, and then I'm going to add the transfer tape and put this on the pillow cover just the same way that I did the previous projects. Since this is a little bit larger of a project, I am going to use a ruler to help me get the spacing right. And then once that is correct, I am going to go ahead and use the Easy Press, and again press this at 340 for 30 seconds. And again, I am doing it in several sections because it is a larger design. I really love how easy this heat transfer paper is. The old iron-on material that we always use to make t-shirts and things just seemed harder to use because you always had to mirror your image, and I don't know, I just like how you can just print out a design and put it onto your project. I do wish that this package came with more than one piece of the transfer paper, because there are 10 sheets of the heat transfer paper in there, but only one sheet of the adhesive to help you transfer your design. But you can get transfer tape that you use like with a cutting machine to use with it as well. And you really can make a lot of projects with this one package of paper. If your projects are smaller, you can put several on one sheet, and so it really is a good value and would be great for making budget-friendly gifts. And I'm really happy with how this pillow cover turned out. I think it looks great in our Disney-themed family room, and it's perfect for celebrating our 30th anniversary. For this next project, I will be using 2 tiles from Home Depot. These cost around $1 a piece, I think. I don't know, I've had them for quite a while, but these are the 6 by 6 inch tiles, and I'm going to be using some clear matte sealer. as well as some of the water slide decal paper that is also from Hiipoo, and I have fallen in love with this product. You can use this to transfer basically any design that you can print on your inkjet printer over to all kinds of surfaces. So for this, I am going to be printing a couple of designs, and when you print on the water slide paper, you want to make sure that you print on the shiny side of the paper. I'm going to be making some trivets for the kitchen for gifts, and so I'm going to do one as a monogram. I did the letter C, and then I just turned my paper around and I printed a photograph on the other side so that I could get the most out of my paper. And then I will also be using the clear matte sealer on the water slide paper. So because the ink from your printer is not waterproof, you're going to give your designs 3 light coats of the clear matte sealer, and you're going to wait 10 minutes in between each coat to let it dry. And then I also decided to go ahead and seal my tiles because these tiles are a little bit more porous, and so I thought it would be good to go ahead and seal them as well. After putting the 3 coats of sealer on and your designs are completely dry, then it's time to cut them out. And so I am cutting around the designs, leaving at least 1/8 of an inch of a border around the design. And this is going to allow me to work with it a little bit easier when I go to transfer it onto my surface. And I found that leaving even just a little bit larger of a border, larger than the 1/8 of an inch, works just a little bit better. Next, I'm going to place my design in some room temperature water, and it does curl up when you put it in there. I set my alarm for 60 seconds and I let it soak, and as it soaks it will kind of flatten out, and so about 60 seconds I think is perfect. And then I'm going to put a little bit of water on my surface and prep it for the decal. Then I'm going to slide it off of the backing by just a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and slide the backing out from under my design. Putting a little bit of water on your surface before you put the decal on helps to be able to move your decal around a little bit, gives you a little bit of time to work with it. So that's an important step. And then I am using a paper towel to blot some of the extra water off and make sure it's all flat and all the bubbles or wrinkles are worked out. For the second tile, I am going to put the photograph on this, and so I am just measuring how large I want that to be and cutting it to the right size. Once I'm happy with the size, I'm going to put it in the water and soak it for 60 seconds as well. Then again, I'll put a little water on the tile. Then I'm going to slide that design up above the backing just a little bit. Hold on to the design and just slide that backing right out from underneath. And honestly, it really is as easy as it looks. I love how these turned out. Then these are supposed to sit for 3 hours, and then I did seal them with several coats of the matte sealer as well. If you enjoyed this video and these personalized budget-friendly gift ideas, be sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to check out the links to both the heat transfer paper and the water slide decal paper in the description box below. If you would like to see some more projects that I have done with the water slide decal paper, I will put the link to these in the card above. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day.